I hope everyone enjoyed lunch. Is it good? Okay. Okay. Can someone do the work close and cool down a little bit more? We're going on to our next segment here. We're talking about our FLDP certification. It's a brand new process for us. We're really excited. It's been spoken about for the past 5 years, pretty much. A lot of various people have brought it up, but why don't you certify your members, or why aren't we certified by the Florida Bar? Why, how about the DBPR? How about, which is terrible. However, I mean, I think it is the best setup for us to self-certify. A lot of y'all may not know that court reporters are a self-certifying entity. There's a Florida Association of Certified Court Reporters, and they have a similar type of certification process that we're going into now. Actually, in their case, for court reporters, the state of Florida, the DBPR, declined to certify them or regulate them. They asked, and they were told they didn't have the budget, the state budget, to do so, which to me makes absolutely no sense, because there would be revenue. But who knows? What, we don't know how the government comes up with some of these things. Just say, okay, then. So they self-certify. They require, I think it's a full-day seminar and then a test. Tell me, Sonny.
4 tests. It's 4 tests. One's a written test and then 3 different speed tests. Jury, lit, and...
Okay, so it's a total of 4 tests.
Right.
Written test and then speed test. Right? Okay.
That's right.
I tell people all the time to take their court reporter to their hearing with them. I mean, it's like, but I didn't know for a long time that they were not regulated or certified in any way. The reason that we want to certify, the white certified, you all have that in a handout, okay? Everyone has the certification handout in their folder. And I have some other specific reasons. As a business person, I believe the less government involvement, the better. Period. Thank you. Who said amen? Okay. And it seems that at some point, with all the Florida Bar's talk about Vision 2016 and the Florida Supreme Court Commission on Access to Justice, that somebody, some outside entity, is going to come along and decide that we need to be regulated and certified by them. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. I'm not wanting to participate in any of those programs whatsoever. So I thought we better get on it and go ahead and do our own certification. There are obvious flaws to being regulated by the Florida Bar, and as it is, to make it clear for all of you, the Florida Bar has no real authority over us whatsoever. They do not. They do not regulate us. They don't want to. Well, good, and we don't want to either. Well, they were given an opportunity. Well, I'm sure some of y'all may be certified paralegals or registered paralegals through the Florida Bar because of, having worked for attorneys and become registered through that way. From what I gather for those people, that's no picnic either. It's expensive and somewhat demanding. So, and it doesn't seem to get them anywhere, as far as I can tell. It doesn't, no real benefit to the paralegals either. Just yet another hurdle to jump through for a paralegal, and also revenue for the Florida Bar. So, one of the big reasons we have gone to this certification, and one of the huge benefits for document preparers to becoming certified is that we will send a message to the public. Okay, the people that are certified, you've taken the extra steps, gone the extra mile to distinguish yourself. And this is huge. A lot of people that when they first join, they think that the competition for document preparers is too fierce. I mean, that business-wise, that there's so many document preparers that there won't be enough business to go around. Well, once you've been doing this for a while, you realize there's plenty of business to go around, no matter how many people enter into it as a business. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure there's some saturation point, but as it is, we're a long way from that. But what is important is to show the public, your customers, your potential customers, say, look, I took the time to go through this process to become certified. You know, that has to be important to consumers. People ask me fairly frequently, well, of course, are you a paralegal? No, not exactly, because I don't work for an attorney. We don't call ourselves that in Florida. And then they ask me, you know, well, how can I check you out? And, well, you know, I don't tell them, you know, that I am the director of FALDP, but I send them to FALDP. And I also, because I have a very robust online presence, I say, put my name in Google. Try that, see what happens. And I usually get positive feedback from that. They're like, oh, you're all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, I am, because I have a blog, I have my website, I post a lot. I've got a big following on LinkedIn. I mean, pretty big. It's like 600 and something at the moment. So, anyway, we'll resurrect that at some point. But as far as the certification itself, first I announced 3 focus areas. But if you look at it in your handout, I expanded that because I was, feeling that I was being unfair to some people that maybe don't do family law, immigration, or bankruptcy. There are other things that we do. So I added on those last 3. All right. Right place here. Oh, here we go. The probate and estate, okay, which includes summary administration of estate, wills, and living trusts. It's a pretty good call for that type of work, for that type of document preparation. We have a pretty good saturation of people that at least do some of that. Maybe not, it may not be the entire focus of their business, but they do some of that. And it's important enough that I thought we better include it. Summary administration of estate is one of my things, one of my specialties. And, Florida, like Lars was talking about, with our demographic here, the aging population, it's, I get calls for that all the time. I started doing summary administration of estate years ago because of that, because of the demand. And I didn't know how, so I learned how, and that was like 4 years ago now. And in school, I avoided those like the plague. I wouldn't even take that course because it just would seem too picky and difficult, and I didn't want to. But now it's my specialty, and that's kind of how life works. Right? Another one, a business focus area, which is a little bit all over the place. There's probably too many things lumped together, so we may have to tweak that a bit. But I wanted to, be a little bit careful. As far as what we do, I also don't want to have any red flags for the Florida Bar to say, what are you people even doing these things for example. And as far as the other business focus area, I included landlord-tenants, which is pretty simple. mainly evictions and ejectments, pretty simple. Well, I do complaints, I do those, but I do foreclosure defense also. So, but I didn't want to make that too clear either, as far as, because this will be published, you know, this will be available online, as you know, so I didn't want to be too specific. Small claims, everybody's fine with us doing small claims. You talk about going to circuit civil and, you know, helping someone with discovery and, you know, putting subpoenas together and that sort of thing. They don't think we're supposed to do that, but we are working under the instruction of our customers, therefore, there's really nothing to prevent it. But why draw fire, right? We'd rather continue to work another day, right? Instead of being bothered by some silly UPL investigation. The other one, the criminal focus area, is almost always post-conviction, although for some reason I've been getting calls for people wanting to do pre-conviction documents for them in criminal. Like motions or discovery prior to their sentencing. Yeah, I've been getting some calls for that, and my master's is in criminal justice, but I told them, we do so little of that, I mean, because everyone either has an attorney or has a public defender, that I really don't know procedure well enough to take that on. I mean, this one girl called me and she wanted me to do something for her pre-conviction paperwork, and I just had to turn her down because I don't want to mess anyone up. And because she had been denied a public defender, and she couldn't afford an attorney. So, because she owned a home and owned a car, they said, sorry, you can't have a public defender. So she had no choice but to go pro se, and I did talk to her quite a while. I sent her into a case management meeting for pre-trial, and I said, you say those words. You cannot afford an attorney, and you have been denied a public defender. See how the judge feels about that. You know, just because, she's in criminal court. It's recorded. So we'll see what happens. She's supposed to call me back. So that's the other focus area, the early termination of probation. Several of us probably do that. I do those. They're quick and easy and pay pretty well. I only charge $175, but it's also 2 pieces of paper. I just did one. I just took one in, and she's been quoted $500. Yeah, by an attorney, and that's actually on the low end from attorneys. They'll tell them like $800, and there may or may not even be a hearing on that. Anyway, so it's so $175. I send them a questionnaire, done and over. Okay, exposure and seal. I know some of y'all do that. I think Martine and Tom, y'all are doing those, right? And Daniela, did I hear you said you're doing those exposure and seal? I actually don't do too many of those. I find them a bit frustrating, so I will probably refer them out. Daniela, I didn't even know you did those. I've been giving them all to Martine.
Oh, well, I do them.
I have to know this. Yeah, I have to know this. And make sure it's really clear on your site, on your listing that you do. I think, and sometimes people are very specific about where their document prepared needs to be. If they want face-to-face, so anyway, those are our focus areas. Let me get a little feedback right off. What do y'all think about that? Does that kind of encompass a focus area for everyone in this room? Is there anyone in here that says, no, none of these is anything I do or plan to do? Right. I mean, will this work? Okay. Well, no, there's a page up on the site, Yeah, well, I don't ask their permission for anything. But it is, but I have no doubt that they watch us. Okay? But it is up there. The first three are up there. Okay? The bankruptcy, the immigration, and the family law are up there as our focus areas. Because those first three are probably the broadest. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, what are they going to do? Do you suppose? I mean, tell me the pitfalls, tell me the downfall. No, this is post-conviction. They've already been convicted. No, I mean, that's what I say. I test it up. I don't do pre-conviction. Okay, at all. Because, right, of that, it's their liberty at stake and all that. I mean, they need an attorney, they might go to jail. Very simple. And they're supposed to be appointed a free attorney if they can't afford. That's the law. But anyway, no, it's post-conviction. And see, what happens for people in criminal, I mean, they get, sentenced to probation. By the time they're ready to early terminate, their attorney's long gone. If they had a public defenders usually will not do that. In general, they don't. And so they either, stick around on probation or they figure out how to do themselves, which very rare they can because the forms are not that easy, readily available. A couple of the counties have a packet for early termination, but mostly not. To do modification of probation. Some people want to modify from community control to regular probation. I do that too. Okay, so...
My question is,
yes.
Certification going to be blanket or is it going to be specific?
It's going to be specific. Okay, what you'll do is you'll choose one or several of these focus areas and test in it. Okay, that's the idea. You don't agree?
I would like a blanket.
Well, it may be easier, but I don't think it's as informative.
Registered paralegal should just have a blanket.
Okay.
They're not specified about alcohol.
Well, neither are attorneys. I mean, they're an attorney. Somebody's, is a member of the Florida bar. They don't have to be designated to do anything. They can, they can practice whatever comes their way. And personally, I don't think that's a very good idea either. I'm not trying to exclude anyone, but to me, to make this make sense, it needs to have focus areas. Yes, ma'am.
Your sentence does say at least one, doesn't say we're limited.
Right. You can certify in all of them. That's your answer. Huh?
If they can afford it, once the fees start to come.
Well, you gotta be quick. No.
Is there going to be a continuing cost to be certified or once you're certified?
What we expect or what we plan is that once you're certified, okay, in a focus area. Okay, that's the plan. I don't see that changing. We do, we're requiring the 10 CEUs a year, of which 5 you earn today. Okay, so there's a lot of ways you can earn CEUs that don't necessarily cost money. There's multiple ways. For example, a webinar is worth an hour. Ambassador stuff is worth, CEUs. Even seminars you go to that are outside of this association. If you're, I don't know if NALA has any meetings, but if you go to their conference or whatever, you could earn CEUs for that. You just let me know. People that are NALA members, National Association of Legal Assistants, is that what it is, NALA Assistants? Usually can earn CEUs for attending this conference. you need to have checked it out ahead of time, possibly. I'm not an ALA person, so I'm not sure. I just know someone did that last year. Oh, continuing education unit. Yeah, you. No. Right. No, we're not accredited, not at all. I mean, we're not there yet. We might be eventually, but we're not there yet. No, this is just for us. The courses are all informational, and then to qualify you to, to earn a focus area. It's like, say there's an area that you don't know anything about. What is your focus area right now, Veronica? Okay. All right. Let's say you decided, well, I want to do family law. I want to do divorces. Okay. But you don't know anything about it. You go ahead and you could then take the test. Okay. Take the course and then take the test for family law or divorces. Okay. Yeah. And so then you can be certified that way. On the other hand, since you already do bankruptcy, you don't have to take any course to certify. You already know the information. Okay, so you don't have to take our courses at all, but for what you already know.
But let me ask you a question. Even if I already know and I just want to have that certification, if I've already taken that course, I did this when I was working on, is it the same course?
It may be. We upgrade the courses as needed, and we never change the login page or the first page. So you can always go back to our courses anytime, ever, forever. Okay? And we do, we update the forms, we update the information. Like about a year or so ago, we completely redid the intro course, and, but it's always been the same as far as how you get there, how the first page of it is. Yeah, and that's a policy thing. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. And what my point is, you don't have to take the course if you don't want to. If you know the information, don't take the course. I mean, that's just Yeah. Okay. Did someone else have a question? All right. Okay. So I have a list on here about how you earn the CEUs. Okay, like the webinars, attending here. You can write for us. We always like new content. It's time consuming, we know, but I know we have a lot of good writers here. I know that we do. And you can submit it, and if we can use it on our site or blog, we'll give you CEU credit for that as well. Okay. The ambassador activity, even if it's like going to the clerk of court and dragging out the information from them of who the correct contact information is, to give a list of providers in your county, that sort of thing, or finding us the local forums, which we're still working on that database, and it's coming along, local forums throughout the state, so that members can go to a page on our site and say, okay, well, I'm doing a divorce in Santa Rosa County, what are the local forums there? And because some counties have standing orders, some have forms that you've never heard of before, and all kinds of things. And if you work throughout the state like I do, there's no way you can know. I mean, you have to go to the website, you have to do a little research every time. So I'm trying to shortcut that process. So anyone that wants to help with that sort of thing, we need that. And you'll get credit for it too. Mentoring also. Some of your colleagues may take a course, be brand new at it, for example, for bankruptcy, or for whatever, for immigration, and they need some help with their first customer. If you mentor them, not only do you get paid because it's charged, but you can also earn a continuing ed credit for that, okay? We usually charge mentoring at, I think it's either $40 or $50, and the point is to have that if you are being mentored, you call your mentor and have some specific questions that you want answered at the beginning of like a project. If you've taken on like somebody that you know or whatever as a bankruptcy because it's your first time, you do it, you have your mentor. Speak to them for like 20, 30 minutes, get your questions answered, and then throughout the process you have someone you can call if there's more questions. And that's all the mentoring is. It's pretty simple. To get to the point of being mentored, you need to do your own education first. Take the course, learn so you know, and then if you want someone to work with you on your first project, we can put you together with a mentor. Yes, ma'am.
And how would that work? Let's say that you want to be mentored, do they have to contact you, and then you would phone up in contact, or is it something that you do?
Well, if you want to be paid through FALDP, you would come to us, okay? If you want to do it just, with someone else, that's fine too, if you just set it up directly.
And how do you know about the
you need the mentor, we just need to let us know. Yeah. And I really don't care. I mean, it's not stepping on my toes or FALDP's toes. If you want to do it directly, that's fine. It's just, that's how we have it set up so far. Okay, we related outreach and educational participation outside of FALDP. And what I mean by that is going to other types of conferences, meetings, learning things that are related to what we do. You just let us know, and you'll get CUs for that too. Yes, ma'am.
I've been asked by a local organization to go on the weekly radio program and explain what all it is that I do for the community. Would that be something like what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
I think something like that already.
Okay. Well, let me know. Yeah. Say what? Okay, also related outreach and educational participation within FALDP for the benefit of other members, which could include course creation, translations, and other activities. And other things that you might come up with that say, hey, FALDP members need this, or I think they may need this. I can do this as my own project, and all I want is the continuing ed credits. And I'm probably yes, sounds great. We're trying to translate more of our Spanish pages. So we only have 4 right now, but, so if any of you Spanish speakers that have the time, let me know, what you would like translated or what you propose to translate. And it needs to be an important enough page to us. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that there is a need for because, we're actively seeking, the Spanish community as our customer. And course creation. If you have a course that you want to see up there, or if you can help with the course, one of our members now is working on our own parenting course. The third-party provider that we had for parenting courses more or less broke his contract with us. So the company broke their contract, and they did have a backdoor in the contract and whatever. It's not worth arguing about. My position on that is, well, we'll just build our own, which is what I was going to do initially, and then they came to us and wanted to partner with us on it, and then they broke the contract. So anyway, but we do have a member working on that who has an extensive background in dealing with families, the behavioral analyst, and even used to teach the face-to-face classes. It was called Children First back then, but it's the co-parenting class that every single divorcing couple must take. And also, people going through paternity action must take. So, nothing like court-ordered clientele. We like it. So, but anyone else that has a class that you think that would be useful, or even if you've taken one of our classes and you think you want to add to it, if you want to say, oh, well, I took it, but it was just, it needs a couple more chapters or modules, it needs more, I could contribute those. That would be excellent. We'd really appreciate it, and that will make us all better. Okay. And now our timeline. Okay. CEUs can be taken any time throughout the year. Actually, those of you that were at our webinar, our most recent webinar, where we talked then about certification, you earned 2 CEU units for that. I think I sent out certificates to everyone that was there. And this is worth 5. So if you were there, so you've already got 7. And our year runs from June 1st to June 1st. Okay, that's our year. And so all you have to do is before renewal time have your 10 CEUs done. And and also I think all y'all probably know that your presence here today means that you will not be charged for next year's membership fee at all. Yeah, you didn't know that. It's on your certificate. You got your certificate? Yeah, look at it. Well, this is the first time, I don't know, this is the first time I offered that. And I just wanted to do it because this one is really important, because we're just rolling out the certification. And I'm trying to build the loyalty of our elite core here. And, some of you have been back several times. I know Veronica, you're a trooper, you got in at the last minute. She did. But yesterday afternoon, she said I'm coming. So I was like, good. So, we want, part of the certification reasoning is to build a more engaged group, to make y'all more involved, to work with each other, to work on your own projects, to grow your businesses, and, help all those pro se litigants out there that need our help. We all know how much they need our help, and I found Laura's presentation quite interesting because he talked about a lot of avenues that I had not considered. Also, very few of you have a good sales or an extensive sales background. Daniela, I think you were the only one that raised your hand besides me when he asked if people had sales, extensive sales background. Oh, okay, good. Because, we might have to get together and work on a webinar for that, to teach people how to sell. I know it's tough. We do have the sales secrets for document preparers on our site now. It may not go far enough. We might need to, to do some one-on-one with people or something like that. Because I confess, I used to sell timeshare. So that's a confession. If you've ever been to a presentation, Okay, but I used to sell timeshare, but you really, really learn how to sell. You really do in that world. Because they trained us constantly. If you, sometimes you could just loaf if you didn't have a presentation. Other times they would just put you in training all day, and you couldn't leave. And, so you learn. You eventually learn. Our timeline, okay. CEUs any time of the year. The study materials for the basic knowledge and skills test will be available in October or November. We didn't really talk about that part. That is on your sheet as well. This is a three-step process. The basic knowledge and skills test, the focus area test, and the CEUs, okay? Basic knowledge and skills encompass understanding legal terminology in general, okay? We can't, because there's so many different focus areas, we can't get overly specific on that because it wouldn't be fair. Understanding UPL, the rules surrounding UPL, something I know it's a drumbeat I'm on all the time, but it is really important. And understanding business ethics, best practices, and customer service. Business ethics. It's just there's a situational ethics, so that'll be like that, what do you do? What do you do questions, like when I do, for example, when I do divorce paperwork, I only deal with one party. Some of us are mediators, and would deal with both, but I only deal with one party. So sometimes, because I put my name on that little tick at the bottom and my phone number, I'll get a call from the other party. Okay? So what do you do? Anyone, what do you do?
It's conflict of interest, so I just tell them that I'm never speaking to the other party involved. I just tell them the conflict of interest that was my client, and if they had any questions, contact my client or conflict of interest.
Right. Well, that's pretty much what I do. If it's a purely procedural thing, one question I answer.
Not a conflict. We have customers, not clients.
Right. Well, agreed. I know that.
Well, I didn't.
Half the boards I do both sides. So I answer both sides. I help both sides.
If it's a mutual agreement.
If it's mutual, but if it's not, you might have to serve out. You can mediate a little bit. I just deal with it as one person.
Well, I'm with you. I just go one side, and if they call me, I tell them, if it's like, if they want to know how long do I have to answer this, I tell them. But that's about as far as it goes. Yes, ma'am.
On my divorce intake sheet, when my client fills out the divorce intake sheet, there is an area that I put on there that, do you mind if I discuss anything on the phone with the former spouse? So that way, if the former spouse does call, then at least I have the permission from the other side of the other party about discussing something with them, and usually it never really seems to be a problem. But if they do call and those persons like, I don't want you talking, then like I said, I apologize due to my clients wanting to keep any information that they gave me confidential. You have to call them.
Because of confidentiality.
There's
no attorney-client privilege.
An attorney won't even talk to the other party.
So there is no attorney-client privilege. We know that. There's not. We're not attorneys.
Is calling your customer client ever
Okay, the question is calling your customer, is calling your customer a client UPL? Is it?
That's
Our building in there, they could accuse you.
Oh, that's
Say that again?
Yeah, because
Also customer service, okay, big on customer service. It's, one of the things that, do you have policies in place on your website? Do you have policies of your turnaround time? What you're going to do? What is your refund policy? All that, is it clearly stated in your website or in your literature? Once in a while, people ask for a refund, what do you do?
No.
No. Do you say no refund?
Policy.
As long as you say no refund, that's fine.
I'll hand them their picture.
Right?
That's my contact.
Okay.
I have a price on that.
Right. Well, I actually have it posted on my website, my refund policy, which is pretty much no refund, except in what I say, I'll refund for. You know, I mean, it's completely up to me, and that's how I leave it. You know, so, huh? You guarantee your paperwork? Okay. I'm just saying, you know, as far as the customer service end of it, you know, just making people know what your policies are, whatever they are. You know, that's really, really important, that they know what they're doing, you know, what they're doing when they get in a business relationship with you. And then follow-ups, okay? What about follow-ups? When does it get to be stalky? Not stalky, but when is it overzealous? Okay, so what do you do on follow-ups? If you have a customer contact you, and has a question or says he wants, I'm picking on divorce, but says he wants divorce paperwork, and you call him back, give him a quote, send him an email, then what? Do you do anything beyond that, or what? And how many times do you follow up then? Twice. So 2 days and 2 more days?
Well, no, 2 days, you know, because they call on Monday, they call on Wednesday, and then, you know, if I talk to them that Wednesday, I probably,
And then a month. Okay. All right, and see, that's just knowing, you know, what you're going to do and, you know, what your business procedures are. That's all that is. Hammering it down and then doing it. Huh? I don't know. What do you do with no-shows?
Need to follow up on them?
I don't have the company I go to that, so no-shows don't happen.
No shows, we keep their deposit.
I call within 10 minutes of their appointment time, and if they don't answer, then I just chop it up.
Right.
I always ask them to call me when I'm setting up the appointment, say, please, if you can't make it, please call me and let me know.
Right, that's
Most of
just
the time
general
they
person.
will.
Yeah, mostly they will, but, and if they won't, you probably didn't want them as a customer anyway, I would guess. Okay.
Also, love the one you talked about.
I left my wallet in the car.
One scenario that always baffles me is I always ask what happens by paying up front, that would happen on stuff. The ones that pay, start the process, and there's 6 year off to pay the year. Yeah.
We have a couple of those now.
But what should we do?
Well, what I do is I wait, I contact them again, and maybe a couple more times, because I do my intake on the phone, like in family law, and, I tell them, we need to set up this phone appointment, because I get full amounts up front. I get the whole thing. Yeah. But, and so I feel bad if I'm holding their money, and they haven't yet gotten it started. And on that, if I can't get a hold of them, I send them a questionnaire at that point. I don't like doing that because they can't ask me questions. But if or if we just cannot possibly make an appointment together, because I have one guy, we had an appointment, I called him, he didn't pick up, but got his voicemail, so I did finally get a hold of him via email. I said, do we need to reschedule? And he's like, Bruce, I just get pulled into meetings all the time, and I don't know when I'm going to be. So I said, okay. And he said, I'll just send you the information. So I said, this will work better. I will send you my questionnaire, and we'll do it like that. So he was fine with that.